Well, welcome back to the channel, sober friends, and if you're not sober, this is a good place to start. I'm Wayne, I'm an alcoholic. This is One Sober to Another. Today's daily reflection for 17 November 2020, Overcoming Loneliness. Let's go. Let's dive into this, because this is going to get deep. Overcoming loneliness. Almost without exception, alcoholics are tortured by loneliness. Even before our drinking got bad and people began to cut us off, nearly all of us suffered the feeling that we didn't quite belong. As Bill sees it, page 90. The agonies and the void that I often felt inside occurred less and less frequently in my life today. I have learned to cope with solitude. It is only when I am alone and calm that I am able to communicate with God, or your higher power of your choice. He or she cannot reach me when I am in turmoil. It is good to maintain contact with God at all times, but it is absolutely essential that when everything seems to go wrong, I maintain that contact through prayer and meditation. What? I can talk to God when I'm alone? That's awesome. All right, check it out. Almost without exception, alcoholics are tortured by loneliness. Alcoholics and addicts go through almost the same kind of isolation. I know for certain, for me, all the way from when I was a kid, all the way up until, the deepest, darkest days of my active alcoholism, I felt completely alone and that nobody could possibly understand what I was going through. A lot of you out there might be feeling that now with the pandemic, with racism, with rioting, with politics, all these other factors going on in life. Your kids are stuck at home because they can't go to school, and on and on and on. Our isolation becomes huge in times like these. And for me, as an active alcoholic, I felt so alone and in the dark almost my whole life. It wasn't until I built my spiritual path and I grew in my conscious contact with my higher power that I'm able to sit by myself and be okay with that. I'm able to take that and communicate with my higher power and seek God's will. And God might not be a thing, but you do have a higher power of some sort. I'm certain of it. And if not, just look inward. So if I am disturbed or in turmoil or uneasy or unbalanced, it's very hard for me to communicate with my higher power because my head is not clear, and a lot of you can relate to that as well. The agonies of the void I often felt inside occur less and less frequently today. Absolutely. I just described to you that I was completely alone in my childhood and definitely in the darkest days of my alcoholism. But today, I less and less feel like I am alone, and I less and less feel isolated, even if I actually am, because I'm able to sit with myself and I'm able to be okay with how the world is around me. Now, that might be hard to accept for a lot of folks, and especially if you're at home with your kids or if you are an alcoholic or an addict, and right now is that time that you would crutch to alcohol or drugs, and you can't, and you don't have any other way to cope, you might be going through some mental anguish that is preventing you from being in contact with your higher power. And that's completely understandable, folks. I understand it. I get it. And there are so many contacts that you can reach out to. And I know I'm kind of going astray a little bit, but there are so many avenues of approach that you can go in order to contact people who are sober, who can help you through your times of turmoil and help you get through these dark days of isolation without having to use or drink. I'm one of them, and I'm not awesome, but I'll give you a little bit of my experience, strength, and hope, as well as, there are some links below for that, by the way. So that's not a plug. I have learned to cope with solitude. It is only when I am alone and calm I am able to communicate with God. Like I said, we have many things that we think about throughout our day, and 24 hours a day, isolated or not, there's only 24 hours in a day. You can get through 24 hours without a drink. And when you are alone, take a moment to meditate just a little bit, to calm your mind, to calm your anxieties and your panics and your stress and your woes and your worries, and put that in the hands of your higher power. I guarantee it will help you to some extent. In my experience anyway. All right, last one. When everything seems to go wrong, I maintain the contact through prayer and meditation. Our world is flipped upside down, folks, and there is no mistake about that. 2020 has been a rocky road for almost all of us. What do we do about it? Do we pout? Do we say, the world owes me? Do we look backwards and say, well, might as well drink, or I might as well use? Is that the solution? I don't think it is. I think that's a solution to a greater problem, possibly your death. I don't know. If you really want to go down that road, and you really want to test that water again to find out if indeed you will drown, reach out and call me. If you can't call me, hit me up on Instagram or on Reddit or on Twitter or on Facebook or whatever, and I will do my best to help. It is through our darkest hour that we can reach out to our higher power, and that we can build that spiritual foundation a little more in order to cope with the way life is. Because you can't change certain things, and that goes back to the serenity prayer. So why do we keep pushing on that wall? I don't know. It's the human condition. It's the alcoholic condition. It's the addiction. It's all these factors. So today's daily reflection for me, overcoming loneliness, is to be okay with yourself. Is to be able to sit silently. And it's okay to be alone. But when you are alone, take some time to pray and meditate. And if you've never done it before, I guarantee it will change your life. Come in conscious contact with your higher power, and build that foundation. Trust me. I guess that's not really what you would expect from an alcoholic. Trust me, right? Trust me, I got you. And your world will grow. I built coping skills, and I built strategies that I told you before. I got some in rehab and rehabilitation, but I grew them every day through these daily reflections and through working my program. And if you've never tried AA, maybe today is your day to try it. Go on Zoom, look up Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, and see what's there, because I guarantee something can help you out. I'm one sober to another. I have to go to work. I hope I didn't lead anybody astray. I wasn't advocating for Alcoholics Anonymous, but I do promote that it is an excellent program of recovery. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. You guys have a great day. Life's a garden. Dig it. I'll see you in the next one.